my turn. I will do a mystery.
Mysterious.
Ooh,
Nice.
definitely a detective.
Yeah.
Cool ranch.
There we go. Dick questioning face. You are Dick questioning face, a detective living in Chicago. You have a pistol and a police badge. You enter the forest where you believe the criminal you're searching for fled to. Suddenly you hear a gunshot behind you. What the fuck is going on, you say? I heard that noise. Then, as if someone had turned off your flashlight, the light goes out and silence envelops the area.
It's already trying to railroad you into a forest.
How can you just walk out of the forest and go home?
I wanted to start in my office, and like a mysterious blonde walks in with legs up to there, and I could see by the look on her face that she needed help. But no, I'm in a forest and it's dark. I'm going to bang the flashlight against my thigh to try and make it work again.
Ah, yes.
Flashlight explodes.
As I'm doing this, you can't help but notice how pale my face looks. That's some weird, tense shift.
Yeah.
Is it me or is it you?
Is this written in second person?
I think there's voices in my head that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
It's not just me, though. It seems like everyone else in the room has gone completely pale, too. The shadows seem to be moving faster than they ever have before, or at least they move more fluidly.
Are you
Maybe the room is
just
just how you
having a
refer to a
mental
forest.
breakdown?
Yeah.
That's essentially what this is.
Is it a room in a forest, or is it a forest in a
That
room?
is the room.
Does anyone know what's going on with this whole room-forest thing
That is what Dick questioning face would say. Ask questions.
from my face?
No, but we need to find out what happened here.
Okay then, let's go investigate.
That's not what people in detective.
That's not what
Mysteries
anyone
sound
sounds like.
That's what this guy sounds like.
This seems easy.
Investigate. Is that your catchphrase?
Investigate!
Let's go investigate.
The first thing you do is look around the room. There isn't anything of interest in the center of the room, so you head back outside and into the woods. You walk through the trees for quite a while until suddenly you feel a sharp pain in your leg. It's called a bear trap.
It's deep vein thrombosis.
Gnaw off my leg.
Watch for Shia LaBeouf.
Quiet. You stop walking and quickly kneel down to examine your wound. You see blood dripping from the wound and realize that you must have cut yourself while trying to get away from something. What was I getting away from? I didn't realize.
My questionable voice.
Yeah. Tear off a strip of my shirt and tie it around my leg. That'll work. They always do that in the films. You pull off your... Not my whole shirt. You pull off your shirt. You pull off your shirt and wrap it around your leg. You tie a piece of cloth around the top part of the cloth and tie it tightly. This will keep any potential attacker from seeing your wounds. So I'm just topless with a shirt tied around my leg, and that will confuse my attacker.
They'll never know what happened.
You continue into the forest, which now appears much darker than it did when you left. You don't know why, but you think this is some sort of magical effect. It's not fantasy, I picked mystery.
Are you mystified yet?
What do you think, Charles? I don't believe in magic.
Nice.
Well, that's what I thought.
Well, whatever it is, let's hurry up and find out what the hell's going on. You continue walking into the darkness of the forest. Eventually you come across a large wooden door. You open it and step inside. It's just a door. Yeah.
A door in the forest.
Okay. I'll look around.
Look up and get down.
Look, everybody look.
You turn around and look around. Nothing is happening, so you decide to try the other door. You open it and step inside. Nothing happens either, so you close the doors again. Finally, you give up and return to your car, where you call your brother Charles, who lives nearby. I thought he was with me. Charles, I'm trying to find the criminal, but there's too many big doors in the way.
Yeah, man. It's dark as fuck in there. What time is it?
It's midnight.
What the hell happened to the sun?
I don't know, I was playing with fire and stuff.
Oops. All fire.
I'm an amazing detective.
Fire and stuff.
You return to my office and tell me everything that has happened.
What?
I'm talking to myself again. I explained that the sun is still shining brightly, but it's not making itself visible to anyone else right now. It'll be back soon, though. I've just explained to my brother how the sun works. He's very simple. Charles comes over, and immediately after hearing about what you found in the woods...
The sum total of your investigation is that time passes and things get dark and light again.
I'm going to Google weird forest doors and see what comes up. You Google strange forest doors and you find that they're real! The only problem is no one seems able to figure out how they work or even understand them. That's not helpful.
I have to go back to the forest.
Yeah, I probably do. I'm going to go cut down the doors and most of the forest if I have to. You grab a fire axe and return to the forest. After all, you can't just sit here waiting for the sun to rise. It doesn't take long before you notice that the sun is indeed rising.
Damn.
Good. You also notice that things aren't quite as they were earlier today.
No,
AI Dungeons are really grabbing hold of this sun rising business. Isn't
yeah,
it?
it's kind of fixated.
Well, there was a thing about shadows, so I guess...
Yeah, interesting.
You search for shadows in the forest and you see nothing. You then realise that if you had been looking at something, it would have been caught by the sunlight. So you go back to your car and call your brother Charles, who lives nearby. He picks up immediately.
I think I want you to talk to Charles.
Charles, are you okay?
Charles, have you ever thought we talk too much?
You, as in just a you as well.
Yeah, the dungeon knows how to do tech speak.
No, not really, but I'm glad you called.
So what's wrong?
Weird forest doors are real. They keep people from leaving the house and entering the woods.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but it's bad.
How are we brothers? You don't sound anything like me. I mean, to be fair, I don't even sound anything like me. My accent keeps changing.
I'm a mysterious brother.
I had a stroke. Any idea what I should do? There's a criminal out here. There's a criminal out here, and he's got an army behind him. We need to get the sun back up.
But why?
Because if we don't, there will be consequences.
My only weakness.
How do you get the sun back up?
I think you just go to bed, right?
There we go.
Normally.
I'm just gonna wait for the sun to come back up.
Damn.
You wait 4 hours and still nothing happens. The sun doesn't even rise. Eventually you decide to head home. When you arrive at your house, you see that the sun is already starting to come up. Okay.
Did it, Charles?
Stare directly at the sun.
So when you go into the forest, the sun goes down. When you
Yeah.
head home, the sun comes back up.
Oh, you wait another 4 hours and still nothing happens. Finally, you decide to leave. When you reach your car, you notice the sun is starting to set. No, I've wasted too long.
No.
After driving around for a bit, you finally get back on the road and you realise that the forest is completely gone now. I'm going to go to where the forest used to be and look for clues with a magnifying glass, because that's what detectives do. You go to where the forest used to be and you look for clues with a magnifying glass. Yes, it worked. You find nothing of interest, so you start driving again. As you drove, you notice that the sun is setting yet again, and when it rises, it won't make itself visible until later tonight.
Wait until the sun rises.
This is...
What is going on?
The sun is going to rise, but it won't be visible until the night.
And then it
This is a
sets.
proper mystery. Wait for the sun to rise. You know, it's
Gotta
the
stammer.
sun, and it's the sun,
Yeah.
not another the sun. You wait for the sun to rise. Don't mock me, game. Come on. It comes up at about 5:30 a.m., but you're tired and want to sleep, so you stay in bed. As soon as you wake up, you check your phone again. The sun has risen.
Victory is mine.
Back from
oh.
the dead, son. I've
Everybody.
I wonder if the sun's risen. I'll look at my phone to work it out instead of looking out the window or just being any type of aware. You say, huzzah, I did it. I saved the sun to yourself and celebrate. Your happy mood lasts all day long. By nightfall, you've managed to save the sun twice.
Amazing.
However, you haven't found any shadows or anything else interesting either.
Hint, hint.
What do you want from me, game? You turn off the lights and wait for spooky shadows to do literally anything. You also try to look for some sort of clue or something like that. But you can't find anything. It's getting dark by now, so you decide just to go back home.
You need to find out about the shadows, but you can't find out about the shadows. That would give away too much
Your
plot.
neighbours are like, he's off to that forest again.
I've saved the sun twice. The forest is gone. There was a criminal who I have no idea what
The
happened.
doors.
And there was
What about the doors?
I guess the doors have gone if the
forest went away.
forest is gone. I'm going to call NASA. They'll know what to do.
Yes.
I've saved the sun twice. They must know who I am. You call NASA and ask them to send a satellite into orbit around the Earth. They tell you they'll try, but they're having problems with their computers right now. Finally, after waiting a few days, you get a response from them. Okay. You say, I need all available space resources, looking for weird shadows or forest doors or anything. To yourself, and hang up.
Oh, you got.
I'm on the phone to NASA. I say something to myself and then hang up.
I need all
The next morning...
Hello.
Oh, they've gone. Okay. The next morning, you wake up early and head out to look for the forest door. You walk through the woods until you come across a large tree trunk. You investigate the tree with your hands. After several minutes, you see a shadow moving slowly towards you from behind the tree. You quickly run away before it sees you and then continue walking through the woods.
You're not a very good detective, are you?
No.
I'll spook him.
Shadows.
I was looking for the shadows and then I find one and I run away.
Good.
Show the shadow my police badge. You look,
Stop, in the name of the law.
respect my authority. You show the shadow my police badge. The shadow looks at it for a moment and then goes back to its normal self. After a couple more hours of walking, you finally reach your house. This is like Shutter Island type stuff. You're kind of walking around in circles and then I'm back in the same place.
The doctor's going to come and give you your medication.
Yeah. Consider the possibility that I'm in a mental asylum. You consider the possibility that I'm in a mental asylum. Then you remember what happened last time you were here.
All right.
What happened last time you were here?
Yeah, what?
You remember the past. You don't know why, but you feel really sad. Oh. As you sit down on your couch, you realise that this is probably going to be a recurring theme throughout the story. This sadness will become a major plot point and eventually lead to death.
Ah.
Foreshadowing.
So, have I realised that I'm in a story? I'm going to try and become self-aware and leave the dungeon. You become self-aware. You think about how stupid you are for being depressed and suicide. That's a bit hard. Come on, game. Then you think about how stupid you are for not taking care of yourself first, which leads to depression again. Wow. I don't know how to feel about this.
Wow.
Eventually you start crying uncontrollably as your life spirals downward into despair. The opinions of AI Dungeon do not represent the opinions of us.
Nice.
There we go.
I like it.
I take time for self-care and relaxation. You take time for self-care and relaxation. Your mind starts to calm down and you begin to enjoy life once again.
That's exactly how it
I think that is the best I could hope for from this story.
Go to therapy.
You celebrate with friends. You go out, eat and drink alcohol. It's fun. In the evening, you fall asleep feeling better than ever.
Yeah.
Hey!
That's all it
And
takes.
so ends the tale.
You live happily ever after. Yeah, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Dungeon.
You succeeded.
And then I subscribe to LJ Gaming Network.
Moing.
Moing. And that's how you really win the game. You decide to subscribe to ljgamingnetwork.com. That's not a real site. Because you like their games and they're really helpful when you need help with them. Also, they also give you free keys for all their games, so you can play them whenever you want without having to pay anything.
You did it.
That's
That's
right.
not true. We don't have any keys.
The story.